I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast over the last 6 months. Here is one of the most powerful life insurance planning strategies I've ever seen, that anybody's ever seen. The bad news is it's not for everybody. You have to have a pretty special set of circumstances for this to work for you. And the first is what you just said. You have to have at least $1 million in your qualified plan. So that means your personal IRA balance needs to be $1 million or more. Or you've left the company and you've rolled that over and you have a rollover IRA with $1 million or more in it.
Well, this can be for someone else.
Yeah.
But
I'm about $850,000 short myself.
Right.
But there's a lot of people with $1 million IRA out there.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people with $2, $3, $4, $5 million IRAs out there. What's the bad thing? What's the bad part about having a lot of money in your retirement plan? It's going to get taxed when you take it out.
Right.
So I'm working on a case this week with a client. It was brought to me by another advisor. He's in Kansas City. He's got a 50% tax rate.
Wow.
Because of 37 for federal, and then he's got state taxes on top of that. Plus, he thinks taxes are going up in the future. Can't imagine why. The national debt the deficit has gone up by $5.2 trillion in the last 3 years.
Right.
I mean, it's going to happen. Taxes are going to go up. So we modeled this with a 50% tax rate.
Wow.
And the thing about QLS is, if you have money in a qualified plan and you don't really need it, that's the catch. Is here we are in South Florida, and if I had $200,000 in my qualified plan and a hurricane comes, takes my roof off, I can borrow that money out of the plan and fix my roof. In the QLS strategy, its money is going to be illiquid for 10 to 12 to 15 years. So it has to be money. It has to be someone who has $1 million in their plan, and they're not going to need it for 15 years.
Got it.
So the perfect person would be 55 or 60.
Business owner.
And they're not going to take it out until they have to anyway, which is now age 72.
Right.
And so what we do is we buy life insurance inside of that plan. And then there's some unique asset characteristics to life insurance, which we've talked about over and over again on this podcast. And one of them is you can take life insurance. It's the only asset you can remove from a retirement plan without paying any tax. How can that be? Well, it's a Department of Labor came out with a rule in 1995, and it's a prohibited transaction exception. So most of the time, if I own a stock in my IRA, I can't buy that stock out of the IRA and own it personally. It's a prohibited transaction. But life insurance has an exception to that. So you can, as the participant and as the insured, I can buy a life insurance policy out of a profit sharing plan and not pay any tax as long as I pay the fair market value for that policy. Well, why would that be? Well, let's say I went to work for Cisco, or Citrix, and I have a profit sharing plan that they set up for me, and it made sense. My financial advisor told me to buy some life insurance in the plan because of this, that, it covered one of my needs. Now I left Cisco, and I don't want to participate in their plan anymore. Well, it's in the best interest of families if I can buy that policy out of the plan and own it personally rather than surrender it and walk away. So that's been around for since 1995. So what some very smart insurance planners did that I'm licensed with and that I was trained by, we figured out that we can get a 25, 30, 35% discount on the money that's in the qualified plans. So when we do that, and there's some more math involved and there's some more steps to go through, and this is one where it's not on the website, all the details, because it's proprietary. It's complicated and it's proprietary. We don't want someone trying to do this by themselves because you could really mess it up. You're dealing with ERISA here. You can go to jail for that. Okay. But properly designed, properly managed, because we're saving so much tax, we can create a whole lot more after-tax spendable income. So that's the first idea with this QLS strategy. The second one is for the person that's a business owner and has a $20 or $30 million net worth, they have $2 or $3 million in their IRA, in their 401k plan, they're never going to spend it. They don't need the money. They don't want the money. Hate the idea of having to take it out and pay taxes. So there's a couple things we can do with that. We can buy life insurance in there. We can then sell that policy to a trust for the benefit of her kids and grandkids. get it out of the estate, no estate tax.
Right.
Or we can actually donate that policy to a charity. Wow. What's up with that? Well,
There's got to be a benefit.
if you're really wealthy and you're getting approached by these charities, you're getting approached all the time. Some of them you really genuinely care about. What is it that the charities want? They want current gifts, they want annual gifts, and they want a legacy gift. So they want money now, they want money every year, and they want a bunch of money when you die. So I can design a life insurance policy that'll do all three, and we can use your pre-tax retirement plan money to pay for that.
Wow.
So we can do that, do the QOLS, get the tax discount, donate it to a charity. They can take a few $100,000 current gifts. We can do $100,000 a year every year, and then there's still a life insurance death benefit upon your death. They don't have any reason to call you anymore. It's a really
There you go.
it's a great asset to use for a charitable donation if you're so inclined. So there's no real financial planning strategy where you kind of come out ahead by donating something to charity, but here's a way you can really leverage a charitable gift using an asset that is not real important to you anyway.